Hey everyone, it's Lisa and welcome to the Stamp Studio. I've got a cute party bag for you today, or you could use it as a favor. Also to hold gifts. Great for showers as well as birthdays, and I'm using a brand new stamp set from the Occasions catalog. Come on over to the stamp table and let's get started. Started with a party bag, and this is actually a 2-pound white bag, and I bought these online since I did a whole bunch of them. You can purchase them at Amazon.com. They do come in a pack of 500, so you might want to go in with a few friends or have a big party planned in order to use them all. But with shipping, they came to about $14, which made the bags really reasonable. Now I'm certain you can find these over at a local craft store as well. I'm also going to need a piece of Tempting Turquoise cardstock, and I used the top note die on my bag to create the topper. So here's my die. I'm going to place my cardstock on the top, clear matte on the bottom, clear matte on the top, and I'm going to crank this through my Big Shot. I'm going to use my Stampin' Trimmer to create a scored line right down the center. So I'm lining up the point in the track here and here, and I'm using the light colored blade, and that'll give me a beautiful score line for this project. The Dotted Angles stamp set includes two really fun borders, so I'm going to use the triangles on this one to create some texture on the top. And I'm using the same color ink because I do want it tone on tone, so that's Tempting Turquoise. And because the stamp is so large, I'm going to recommend that you ink it face up. I'm going to stamp this right on top of my paper. So there we have the start of our topper. I cut a piece of Designer Series paper from the stack called Sweet Taffy. Now this paper is graduated in colors and yellows, but I've chosen the lighter end of the paper to do some stamping. So 3.5 by 3.5, and then I cut a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And this is where I'm going to actually do my stamping. I'm going to stamp right on the Designer Series paper. Brand new stamp set called Time to Celebrate, and these adorable sketch images are going to make some great cards, but I'm focusing on the birthday cake that's right here. I'm using my Memento ink, which is my go-to black ink pad, and I'm going to stamp this right down here near the bottom of my Designer Series paper. Now I'm using 4 markers to color it in. This is Tangerine Tango, Tempting Turquoise, Old Olive, and of course the Daffodil Delight, just to bring continuity. And then I'm going to color the image in. Now that the color has been colored in, I am actually going to take my white gel pen, and there are small polka dots inside this little flag. Maybe difficult to see them on camera, but I have found that the white gel pen will help bring those out. I'm going to get my pen flowing, and I'm actually going to make a couple dots inside that flag just to give it a little bit of texture. Now you're going to need to give that a minute or two to dry for that white gel pen, and then we're going to mount this piece onto the cardstock that we cut. So now we've mounted these two together. The next comes the assembly. Now in order for this to fit properly, I found I needed to cut my bag down. I cut the bag down to 5 inches. So I'm measuring over here at the 5-inch mark, and I'm cutting off part of the top. Now this is going to vary project to project, so you're just going to depend on what size bag and what you're putting inside in order for this to work. Now this is a small scrap piece of white cardstock, and I'm using the words Time to Celebrate that are from the same stamp set, and again this is called Time to Celebrate, and I'm going to stamp that here near the top. My hexagon punch is my very favorite way to create a banner tip. So there's one end there, and there's one end there. I'm going to put adhesive on the back of our image panel. This is going to fit here. And again, remember this panel size may have to be adjusted depending on the size of your bag. This then is going to be the topper for the opening of the bag. And I'm going to provide some adhesive here to hold this down. I'm not going to go all the way to the top. I'm going to leave a little bit of room there so that I can open up the bag. Put my words on dimensionals, and those are going to go here near the top. So now we have our bag. Now the last thing I did was I added some candy dots. I felt the area here was a little bit plain. So with the candy dots, I'm using my paper piercing tool. Again, those have glue on them. Makes my life so much easier. And I'm putting a few on here just to coordinate my project. So that's today's project, and I look forward to seeing you next week.